Hi guys, I'm Jed Johnson from Diesel Crew, and recently someone wrote me asking some questions about the Farmer's Walk. Farmer's Walk is a common test of grip strength in strongman competitions, and I just want to tell you a few things about how to set up for the lift, how to prepare, positioning, and different things like that so that you can do your best at the Farmer's Walk every time that you compete at it. First off, if you're going to train the Farmer's Walk, it's best if you have a pair of Farmer's Walk handles. Farmer's Walk handles can be bought at many different websites on the internet now, and they're fairly cheap, so there's really no reason not to have your own set. Also, you can build your own if you like. As you can see, I'm loaded up with some chalk. The chalk allows you to have a good consistent surface between your hands and the Farmer's Walk implements. If you're a major sweater, you want to make sure that your hands are dry and chalk up so that there's no moisture between your hands and the handles, or else it's going to rip out of your hand. Speaking a little bit more about your hands, if you have any calluses, then they're going to get ripped off by the Farmer's Walk handles. You don't want that because that's going to tear your skin up, you're going to be bleeding, you're going to be sore, and it's going to be really, really hard for you to continue to train the Farmer's Walk. When I take a shower, I'll just shave it off with a razor. What happens is when your skin gets wet, you're able to trim it very, very easily. You don't want to do that when it's dry. The razor will snag. Make sure that your skin is wet, and it'll come off really, really easily. Now, when you take your grip on the Farmer's Walk handles, you don't just grab them anywhere. You want to make sure that you're standing right in the center of the handles, and you want your grip right in the center of the handles as well. If you shift either to the front or the back, you should prefer a shift backwards. Okay, and that way if the handles sag at all, they're going to sag down in the front. If that happens, they're a little bit easier to control that way. Plus, the shift goes towards the first two fingers on your hand, which are the strongest fingers. If you were to shift your hands forward and the farmer's implements sag down in the back, that's going to put more emphasis on the last two fingers, and those are the weakest two fingers, so you're going to have a little bit more trouble. Okay, with a good positioning, with your feet centered on the handles, what you want to make sure that you do when you lift the farmer's implements off the ground is make it just like a deadlift. You want to press your heels into the ground. Get a good strong grip on the ground with your entire feet, but then press your heels into the ground as if you're pushing the earth away from the Farmer's Walk handles. Okay? It's not just an extension of the back or a shrug or anything like that. It's a short-range deadlift. Now, in the Farmer's Walk event, usually you have to not only pick the implement up, but then you have to take off with it. When you do that, you want to start out with short, choppy steps. You don't want to start out with big, long strides. If you do that, you run the risk of losing balance, and it's also going to take you a while for you to stabilize. That's going to hurt your time. And most of these are timed events. You want to cover the distance as quickly as possible. So when you do that, make sure that you take short, choppy steps. When you do that, you stay nice and stable. You're able to pick up speed gradually, and then you don't have to run the risk of dropping the implement or something like that because you're shaking all over the place. And then finally, if your Farmer's Walk event involves a turn, what you want to make sure to do is touch the front of the implement together. If the implement has weights on it, go ahead and touch the weights together. This, in a sense, makes both implements into one implement, and it makes it more stable. You can imagine if you're turning and you don't have them touched together, they're both going to be moving separately, and they're going to be much harder to control. So what you want to do is you want to make sure when you turn, you touch them together. That's going to keep them more stable. You'll be able to control it more easily, and you'll have a better time in your Farmer's Walk event. All right, so enough talking. Let me go ahead and demonstrate this. Check my grip, check my stance, check my body positioning. Check how I walk, how I stay stable, starting out with small strides and then lengthening them as I go. As I near the turn, I'm going to shorten my strides again. I'm going to make sure the implement's touching one another, and then I'll be able to make my turn very, very concisely and under control. you go. There's just a little information on how you can improve your farmer's walk technique. Hopefully that'll help you perform better at your next strongman competition. And even if you don't compete at strongman, the farmer's walk is an excellent way for you to train. It's great for your grip. It's great for your back, lower back, upper back, traps, glutes, and it's good for your conditioning. So don't be afraid to stick this in your training program right away. If you have any other questions, feel free to leave a comment below. Make sure to subscribe to my channel, and also come over to dieselcrew.com. We've got lots more articles and videos on strength training there, as well as tons of other things. So come on over and check it out today, and in the meantime, all the best in your training. See ya.